my name is Natalie, and I have the honor to interview the main frontman of the band HIM. First off, you are on...
So there's like 5 different frontmen in our band anyway.
You guys are on album number 8. Did you ever see this day to come?
No, definitely not. I think that it's always good that there's a bit of drama and stuff that keeps us on our toes. It would be way too easy if we'd already started speculating on, album 13. But one day at a time, and like the people in AA say, I think that works with the bands, the rock bands play it fairly well as well.
Yeah, exactly. What were you trying to achieve with this album?
I think to keep ourselves entertained. We've grown up. We started our first bands, really in the 90s, and HIM was formed about 20 years ago. So it's such a big part of our lives that I don't know that if anybody in the band knows anything else in this life besides playing music. So it's natural just to go on and try to find new spices to make the sonic sex life better.
All right. What was running through your mind when you were writing this album?
I was probably just like you complaining about my lack of sleep. It gets pretty intense when working on an album. It's like a blur. Usually, I think the best way is just to go with the flow and just go to the rehearsal place. I usually start off writing music just with myself an acoustic guitar and get the basic ideas down, and then show the ideas to the rest of the guys at the rehearsal place. And that's the time when we crack open the beer cans and turn up the volume and just bang our heads until everybody's smiling and sweating and having a good time. And I think that's the best way when it comes to not to have too strict of a master plan when working an album. That would be terribly boring to know in advance what's going to happen. So I think it's great, at least for us, that there's the sense of excitement and sense of magic while it's actually happening. So we never know what we're going to get. A HIM album's like a box of chocolates.
Sure sounds like it. And it sounds like, you just go with the flow with, whatever pops up.
Yeah, more or less. And at the end of the day, we've been together for, we started such a long time ago that I think that we do have a certain identity when it comes to musical, the music we do, or the musicality. It's, but there's no reason to shed our skin when it comes to that. It's, I'm happy to be in the band, and I hope the rest of the guys are feeling good too. I'm pretty sure that they are. This, just try to avoid the pitholes of doing the same old again. I think that's the main challenge. Trying to find a new angle and something cool while going with the flow.
Yeah. Can you tell me how does this album differ from your previous ones, and what can we expect from it, and what is the message, behind it all?
Well, I think message-wise, there's probably none. It's a process that keeps on. It evolves. Let's put it that way. We're not political. We're not religious. We're not in that sense. So there's no statements behind the music. I think the difference between this one is that it's pretty noisy. It's pretty grungy. It's pretty straight to the point. Way heavier than the one we did before, and yet at the same time, really, really melancholy and a bit spooky at times. So it's got all the ingredients of the band, all the ideas and sounds which we're known for. But try to, I don't know, experiment a bit. Sounds boring, but that's basically what we did. It's at least myself, I found it impossible to write exactly the same song twice. So you always try something new, and it's then in the ear of the beholder to kind of speculate whether it's just another HIM album or whether it's stepped into the unknown and something really cool and new. And we're way too close to the process to know what's really happening.
Huh. Got it. What are your expectations for it?
Well, I think the basic expectations, I don't like to expect too much. I'd rather be positively surprised. So I'm hoping that we're going to be able to talk properly with the album. Hopefully, get some new people, meet some new people along the way, and at least give us what would it be? Expectations of of course we want it to be successful, but in this climate, in this music industry climate, it's tough to say. It takes a lot of luck, and it takes good timing and good gigs, and there's so many different variables that we can't really influence. That's impossible to say what's really going to happen with it. I think the important part has been done already, which is that we're proud of the album and we're happy with it, and we think it's a step into the right direction, sound-wise and song-wise. So I think that in that sense, we have fulfilled our expectations already. Now it's just about whether people are going to get it, because we don't have the slightest idea.
Great. Can you tell me how did the deal with Razor and Tide came about?
Well, it's an odd situation where we are, and we're signed to Warner's a few years back, and then they had a lot of changes within the company. A lot of people who we used to work with had left the company, so basically we wanted to see if there would be other alternatives, and we ended up in a situation that we self-financed the album and did licensing deals with Universal in Europe, a label called Double X in the UK, and then Razor and Tie for North America and Canada. So America and Canada, and the thing with Razor and Tie basically was that they gave us a decent deal, and then I know a few people who from the past who are now working with the label. So it's important to try to have a situation where you can actually call people from the record company. You can give them a call without the hierarchy of assistants. So it's just it seems like it's a good start. We'll see what happens. If everything's looking great and we're having a good time, and I can't wait to come over to the States to play a few shows in May, so we can meet up with all the label people and see what's going to happen next.
Great. Will we ever be seeing you flying solo and doing like a solo project, or not yet?
Not me. I think we got a bass player. He did a solo project, like this odd, kind of soundtracky type of horror movie music, and the guitar player, he's been doing, he's working on this side project called Daniel Lionite, and he's released 2 albums already, and he's working on his 3rd. And I think that since I'm the main songwriter in HIM, it's basically enough. I think that if I would, start working on something all by myself, I'm pretty sure they would end up sounding more or less like him, but just played worse, and it would sound not as good because I don't have the right guys for it. So I'm really happy being in this band, so I can fulfill all my musical perversions.
Great. As you mentioned before, you do plan to come to the U.S. in May. Why did you want to do only a mini tour and not a full-length tour?
Well, the idea behind that is since the album's coming out so late in the year, or late in the springtime, that there's not really time before all the festivals start happening to tour proper. So the idea is that we're doing sort of like a record release tour just so people know that we exist and there's a new album coming out and all that. So we're playing 3 gigs in Europe and 8 in the States, after which we're heading back to Europe to play summer festivals during June and July and early August. And the idea, which we're trying to sort out now with the booking agents, is that we can do a proper tour then in fall. So probably starting early September or so. And we're not quite sure whether we're going to start it from the States or from Europe. And that's something that we're working on at the moment. But there will definitely be a longer tour. It just felt that it would be a good idea, since the album's coming out, to kind of like just show our faces and play like a bit more intimate club gigs for the bit more loyal fanatics.
Great. In the past, you have done work and probably have also played with the gothic rock act, the 69 Eyes. Have you ever considered touring with them in the U.S. or in Europe on a big out tour? I think that would be a cool combo to do.
Yeah, well, we're good friends. We've known each other since 90-something, and I've sang some backing vocals on the albums, and I used to hang out with Jussi a lot, but they're a pretty busy band. It seems to be that always when we're in the studio, they're touring, and when we're touring, they're in the studio. So our paths never cross when it comes to that. And but yeah, it'd be nice one day. As I just said, if we get along well and all that, it might be a good combo. But I gotta ask the guys when I see them the next time around, what they want to do.
Great. What are your favorite things about touring in the U.S.?
In the U.S., the scenery, the big skies, like for example, touring in the UK, the distances between cities are like, less than 100 miles usually. And then when you're touring in the States, it's constant traveling, which is great because it's so different. You get to see all these shady motels and gas stations in the middle of nowhere. I think it's something that you'd never see as a tourist if you just fly in the city and hang, let's say, in New York for a week or whatever. It's cool to see the kind of like the different side of the country too. And I like the whole, there's all the states are so different from each other. I love Seattle. But then again, I love to hang out in Miami. There's like best of both worlds, especially when it comes to touring.
Yeah, exactly. You guys have, been around for a long time and toured for a long time, but where haven't you toured in that you would like to go to?
Well, we never played Africa. We never played India. Only been to Japan once, twice. Never done Alaska. Never done only gone as far south as Mexico City. So we never played Latin America that much. So there's still a lot of places it'd be great to go to, just to see what it's like. But the problem in the past has been that the world is such a big place and if you want to keep on touring and want to do all the countries or all the cities in the world, you'd be on tour for years. And I really, really like working in the studio as well. So and touring can be pretty tiring at times too. When you're away from home for months on end, it can be quite excruciating. So we're still trying to find a balance so we wouldn't wear ourselves out by touring or wear ourselves out by recording too much. So it's a fine line, but I think we'll get there one day. And then hopefully this time around we'll be able to do some new places too. Remains to be seen.
Sounds good. What can the fans expect to see from you guys for this year overall?
I'm hoping that there will be fans because it's because of those fans that we're able to do what we do. So, so it's depending on the interest, obviously. I said that we're going to be touring as much as possible. We just shot 3 videos for the album. It should be out sometime, and it's all depending how well the album does. I'm sure they'll change. The touring plans, and they'll change the sizes of the venues and all that. And next week we're going to start working on the live set list and try to bring in some songs we haven't played in ages, and I'll bring back my acoustic guitar so we can do some of the tracks that the acoustic is necessary for. So, just try to play around a bit and switch it around, just any weeny bit. Not to make it too different, but hopefully keep people's interests up.
Great. And is there anything else you would like to say to the fans?
I think we covered all the bases, more or less. So, that's the toughest question in the world.